Contal! Come on, you. Yeah, we're here. Good morning, everybody. We're on Thursday morning. I've got to try and get as much as I can done today because I'm not going to get much done tomorrow. We're taking them in. So, that bit's of leather work, they all need sorting, or the next step needs sorting, so I can at least sort of like move on. I think I've got to basically make the strap for the Spartan. I can do quite a bit with the I'm going to say the bullet pouch, but I'll go through a process of putting canola cream on one side and tan knot on the other. And then it's a case of waiting for that to dry before you can do anything with it. So that'll be all that today. The other two bits, I can usually do that section after I've put the canola cream on after I've stitched it all up. So anyway, got that to do. I'll start shaping out those knives I've got glued up. I'll profile them for definite, even if it's just a case of doing all the rough sanding today, just so I know that I'm somewhere up with that. I haven't decided if we're going to have a Kydex sheath. Two of them I think will have a Kydex sheath. Thinking about it, maybe all three of them will have a Kydex sheath. I need to get some rivets ordered for that, so they might take, because it's the smaller rivets that I need to get. And the only decent ones I've ever seen are from America, so they may take a while to come, as long as I can find them. So I'll be searching that out this morning. A few other bits I need to order as well, get that done. Yeah, so it's like bitting and bobbing day, get cracked on, see what I can get sorted, and then I can see me having a sort of like a busy weekend going backwards and forwards to Sheffield. But at least I'm just out with dogs this morning. We have Wade's pod this morning, always a favourite. Right, come on you two. Right, we'll see you later. These are all glued up now, so what I'll do is I'll just take all the clamps and them things, and just put them to one side for the time being, because I need to get the leather work sorted first. Right, starting off with the leather work. I'm going to start with the bit that I'm going to use for the bullet pouch rather. The front's already done, so it's already got the coating on the inside and the cream on the outside, and I've just given it a brush down like so. Just a polishing brush, just brightens it up a little bit. I've still got to wax it and what have you, but I'll be doing that in a bit. I've still got the belt loop section and the main body, which will be folded over at the top to make the cover. Just get a cloth. I'm just going to get a rub down. It's the way you're getting any sort of like excess dye off it. It's not so bad. Right, that's the main piece. Don't really need to do much with that first off until I put the creams and everything on. What I will do is burnish the edges down on the belt loop. So I've got a bit of water in a cup, just sponge down edge, and I just wet the edges. Now you'll see some people using burnishing creams. In my opinion, you don't need to use that for leather that you've dyed yourself, vegetarian leather that you've dyed yourself. If it's something that's already been pre-dyed and it's already got waxes and stuff like that in it, it does come in handy, and I would use it if I was using sort of like the Baker Tannery leather. Which is vegetarian leather, but it's already been fully treated. Now I'd use that on those belts that I've made before, but I don't really need it for this. So finishing tool, and it's basically just rubbing the edges down till they're nice and shiny, and it's amazing how just the friction of it smoothens off all edges. You'll have seen in one of my other videos where I've just gone round with the edging tool, just to starts rounding it off, and then when you start burnishing it, it rounds it off altogether. This is why I like using it. This is why I like using leather. Like I say, it's a very forgiving material as opposed to some others that you can make. Sort of like Kydex and what have you, but Kydex is good for repeatability. There are burnishing tools out there that look like a bench grinder, and it's got something like that that's plugged into one side. The only downside I see with them is that it's rotating as opposed to drawing it backwards and forwards. So if you put it too much in one spot, it'll make a divot into the leather. I mean, I do use them every now and again. I've got like another disc that I'll put into the bench drill, put that on for small pieces if I'm just going through them all. But I find that doing it this way, I feel that it gives a better finish. Might be completely wrong, but there we go. Right, so I've got the edges all rounded off. Just the last thing to finish it off, I'll put it on the side of a table or a bench, and I'll just give it a run down. There we go, sorted. And you can see I've already got a scored mark down those two edges, and that gives me basically a stitching line for when I come put it on the put it onto the main body part. Right, next bit I'm going to do with those is I'm going to Canova cream and tan knot. Right, got my end set up. First of all, I'm going to use the Canova cream, Phoebe's Canova cream. I've already got it into a tub here because I use it every now. Well, I use it quite a bit. I use it basically on every bit of leather work. And on the leather side, the smooth side, just give that a nice liberal coating and work it in. I find if I do this first, then it just helps the starting a bit of a shine, gives a nice finish to leather. That's that. And then same again for the belt loop section. Right, and then for the underneath section, just get a rag. I've got this, which is the tan knot. There we go, tan knot, and I'll put that on the suede side of the leather, so the underneath. I just find that that's a good sealant as much as anything else. So I've got like a sponge brush thing. Buy loads of them, buy them in big packs. I use them for leatherwork, for dye as well, but because the dye is an oil-based one, it damages them a bit because they're only just sort of like a synthetic sponge. Got that one and the other piece. Got to put a nice coating of this on. You don't want it too thick that it's still tacky, but you still need it thick enough that that it covers all the leather, all the swelled bit, because it will soak in a bit as well. There we go, that's that bit sorted. And then I've got a cloth, well, I'd say a cloth, it's almost got into a bit of sheet plastic nearly because it's been used that much. But then I'll use this to rub down the leatherwork, so rub down the tan knot. And the reason you do that is it makes a nice smooth finish to it. It sort of flattens out all the grains within the leather. There we go. So that's it, flattened off. That's the one that still needs to be done. So I'll crack on with these. Then I've got the edges of all the other parts to get burnished off, and then I'll be looking at sort of like putting the belt loops together, stitching those all together, because I can put the Canova cream on after it's all been stitched up with these on the bolt holster and the Spartan. So it's just this one because of the way that I make this one up, it's the part that I need to do this section now. Onto my Spartan. I've got to a point now where I've stitched all the back piece on. It's got the belt loop on, got the bullet loops on it. I just need to make the front cover for it. I won't do too much video on this bit. I have got a link for, I'll put it up in the corner somewhere, either that corner or that corner, I can't remember which, of one I made. Basically, I'm making these on my Dane & Blades page, so I'll put a link to the video if you're interested in those ones. But the next thing to do with this is basically cut the front out so it's level, which I've got a load of blanks for these. Cut a section off at the top of that, and then I'll glue it onto the front. I've got to put the sand brown on as well. So I'll put the sand brown on, then I've got to glue it all together, and then it'll be left till tomorrow when I can stitch it all up. Not tomorrow, because I'm busy tomorrow. Right, I'll see you in a bit. Sorry for the noise, I've got my filter running above us, but I'm going to, there we go. I've profiled up all the blades, well, all the knife handles, and now I'm going to start this, basically sculpting out the sides and the front to give it a bit of a taper. You can just see on top, hopefully, if it focuses in, not sure if it will. I've drawn some lines across the top. There's a section in this bit here where it's going to be the same width. Basically all I do that for is to help me judge where I need to grind it off to. Now this one is black and orange G10. Actually the black is rubber, this stuff's called Sure Touch. The idea is to add some additional grip to a handle, but because it's got the lines in it, it makes it easy to grind and get it level on either side. I'll show you what I mean, but should be able to see it. So if anybody's going into knife making and wants to practice doing the handles, I do recommend the G10 that's lined, so you've got black and green on it. It works like contours on a map, so it gives you an idea whereabouts you're cutting into, and you can make it the same on either side. Right, let me get kitted up. Right, there we go. You can see where the black lines are, just about similar, but it gives you an idea of what the depth you're going into, and because I put the black lines, put the pencil lines on the top, you line it up with the sides, you know you're about there. This one I've just got to do round the edges, bit of a contour sort of thing. I'm not going to do too much on the sides like I usually would for most. I've got a sculpting belt that I'd use to shape the handles round. I'm not going to do it all the way around for these three knives, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the scalloped versions, so basically go along the bottom, along the top, and the same way, and I'll then probably blast them as well. But I've got the other two that I've got to do. One of them is the green G10 and the other one's the orange G10. No, obviously no black lines on for those two, so you've got to sort of like judge it that you're about right with it. One other way that I use it is use a measuring verniers, and I basically just make sure that the top and bottom are the same, because what you can find is that when you're digging into it, instead of holding it straight, you're holding it at a bit of an angle, so therefore you end up grinding the top of it away, but you don't end up grinding as much at the bottom away. So you just have to keep measuring just to make sure, or I do anyway. But I'll get it rigged up and I'll show you what I do with the other two. There we go, and that's them all, well, I'm going to say sculpted, shaped out, whatever. I'm going to get the tape off these because I'm going to put them onto one side. Another 5 minutes I'm going to be taking daughter number one out somewhere, so I think that's pretty much us for tonight. Obviously tomorrow is going to be the big day, so I can't see me doing much in the workshop unless I get really bored and frustrated and need something to do. I might be in tomorrow afternoon, but other than that, we'll keep you updated. So we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you very much. Once again, I'll see you.